Welcome to the 50th anniversary of the Society of British Aerospace Companies display. The Farnborough Air Show, 1966. Many exhibitors including Gulfstream displaying the latest business-class jets. The Gulfstream is a twin-jet swept wing powered by two Rolls-Royce Spey turbofan engines. The Beagle B121 Pup is a 1960s British 2- to 4-seat single-engine training and touring aircraft built by Beagle Aircraft Limited at Shoreham Airport and Rearsby Aerodrome. The de Havilland Aircraft Company is a British aviation manufacturer established in late 1920 by Geoffrey de Havilland at Stag Lane Aerodrome, Edgware, London. Known for its innovation, de Havilland was responsible for a number of important aircraft, including the Moth biplane. Vickers VC-10, C-1, Royal Air Force Transport Command. White over grey scheme with large blue lightning flash down the fuselage. The Short Skyvan from Emerald Airways is a high-winged, twin-engine, fixed tricycle landing gear utility aircraft with twin rudders and a box-like fuselage. Vickers FB-5, gun bus replica, was a British two-seat pusher military biplane of the First World War. Armed with a single .303-inch Lewis gun operated by the observer in the front of the nacelle, it was the first aircraft purpose-built for air-to-air combat to sea service, making it the world's first operational fighter aircraft. The Roe 4 triplane was an early British aircraft designed by Aliot Verdon Roe and built by A.V. Roe and Company. The Bristol Boxkite, built as a two-seat trainer aircraft in 1910 by the British and Colonial Aeroplane Company, was an improved version of the Henry Farman biplane. Handley Page Victor B-2. The Victor is a futuristic-looking, streamlined aircraft with four turbojet engines buried in the thick wing roots. The Roe 4 triplane resembled Roe's Type 3, with the lower wing of smaller span than the upper two and a triangular section wire-braced fuselage. The Bristol biplane, a pusher biplane based on the successful Farman 3, it was one of the first aircraft types to be built in quantity. The Sopwith Pup is a British single-seater biplane fighter aircraft built by the Sopwith Aviation Company. It entered service with the Royal Naval Air Service and the Royal Flying Corps in the autumn of 1916. The Fairey Swordfish is a biplane torpedo bomber. The Swordfish, nicknamed Stringbag, was principally operated by the Fleet Air arm of the Royal Navy. The Royal Aircraft Factory SE-5 is a British biplane fighter aircraft. It was developed at the Royal Aircraft Factory by Henry Folland, John Kenworthy and Major Frank Gooden. The English Electric Wren. The Folland Nat T-1. The aircraft of choice for the world-famous Red Arrows aerobatic team. The Transall C-160 is a twin-engine tactical transport aircraft featuring a rear access ramp. It is designed to perform cargo and troop transport duties and aerial delivery of supplies. The Breguet BR-1150 Atlantic is a long-range maritime patrol aircraft designed and manufactured by French aircraft manufacturer Breguet Aviation. Designed in response to a 1958 NATO specification as a replacement for the Lockheed P-2V Neptune. The Atlantic is performing maritime roles such as reconnaissance and anti-submarine warfare. Augusta Bell 204B. Civil or military utility transport helicopter. The Fokker F-27-400 Friendship. Passenger, cargo aircraft with two Rolls-Royce Dart 7 turboprop engines and large cargo door. The Britten-Norman BN-2 Islander is a British light utility aircraft and regional airliner designed and manufactured by Britten-Norman of the United Kingdom. The Beagle B206S is a British 7-seat twin-piston-engined liaison and communication aircraft built by Beagle Aircraft Limited. A pilot preparing for flight of the Fokker F-27-400 Friendship. The Rollison D-31 Turbulent display. The D-31 Turbulent was designed to be amateur-built and is a single-seat ultra-light aircraft with cantilever-low wing and fixed tailwheel landing gear. Designed to be powered by a 30-horsepower Volkswagen or similar engine. The fuselage and wings use wood construction with fabric covering. The Tiger Club Turbulent displays have been a highlight of the air display scene since 1959 and, by remaining in sight of the crowd at all times, their displays are often regarded as the most riveting. In 1960, a Rollison Turbulent was flown by Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, making the Turbulent the first and only single-seat aircraft to have been flown by a member of the royal family. In the same year, the same aircraft won the King's Cup Air Race, flown by John Seven. A flying display with the Avro Triplane 4, and the Bristol Boxkite. The Sopwith Puck, powered by the 80-horsepower Lerone 9C rotary engine. The English Electric Wren. The Vickers FB5, known as the Gunbus. This airworthy gunbus replica built in 1966 and painted in RFC colors. The Hawker Hart is a British two-seater biplane light bomber aircraft that saw service with the Royal Air Force. It was designed during the 1920s by Sidney Cam and manufactured by Hawker Aircraft. The Fairey Swordfish II. The primary weapon of the Swordfish was the aerial torpedo, but the low speed of the biplane and the need for a long straight approach made it difficult to deliver against well-defended targets. The de Havilland DH-98 Mosquito T, Mark III. The Mosquito is unique among World War II fighters because it is made primarily of wood, not metal. The Supermarine Spitfire is a British single-seat fighter aircraft used by the Royal Air Force along with many other Allied countries throughout the Second World War and afterwards into the 1950s as both a front-line fighter and also in secondary roles. After the Battle of Britain, the Spitfire superseded the Hurricane to become the backbone of Royal Air Force Fighter Command, and saw action in the European, Mediterranean, Pacific, and Southeast Asian theaters. Much loved by its pilots, the Spitfire served in several roles, including interceptor, photo reconnaissance, fighter bomber, and trainer, and it continued to serve in these roles until the 1950s. Although the original airframe was designed to be powered by a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine producing 1,030 horsepower, it was strong enough and adaptable enough to use increasingly powerful Merlins and, in later marks, Rolls-Royce Griffon engines producing up to 2,340 horsepower. As a result, the Spitfire's performance and capabilities improved over the course of its service life. The Royal Aircraft Factory SE-5. Unlike many of its peers, which were highly agile but unforgiving, the SE-5 was comparatively stable and easy to fly. Its stability enabling pilots to more readily fire upon enemies from further away with a greater degree of accuracy. The Wallace WA-116 is a British autogyro developed in 1960 by former Royal Air Force Wing Commander Ken Wallace. This autogyro is powered by a Wallace McCulloch 4318A engine. The Handley Page HPR-7 Herald 204 is a 1950s British turboprop passenger aircraft. The Herald is powered by 1,910 horsepower Dart 527 engines driving 12-foot 6-inch variable pitch 4-blade Doughty Rotol propellers. The fuselage is lengthened by 20 inches, with other improvements included increased fuel capacity. The de Havilland Canada DHC-1 Turbo Chipmunk 21. The Westland Wessex HAS-1. Westland Helicopters is a British aircraft manufacturer. Originally Westland Aircraft, the company focused on helicopters after the Second World War. It was amalgamated with several other British firms in 1960 and 1961. The Westland Company continued to produce other aircraft under license from Sikorsky Sea King and Bell Soup. They also produced their own designs, the Westland Scout and its naval variant the Westland Wasp from the P-531, which found favour with the Army Air Corps and Fleet Air Arm respectively. The Westland Wessex HAS-3. The Westland Whirlwind Search and Rescue Helicopter. The Westland Scout AH-1. The Westland Bell 47G. The Westland Bell combines a 200 horsepower Franklin engine with the 3-seat configuration of the 47D1, and introduced the twin fuel tank configuration. The Westland Wessex HC-2. An impressive display of helicopters from the Royal Air Force, the Army and the Royal Navy. A pair of the Britten-Norman BN-2 Islanders. On the 13th of June 1965, the first prototype BN-2 Islander conducted its maiden flight, powered by a pair of Rolls-Royce Continental piston engines. Only 4 days later, the prototype appeared at the Paris Air Show. In 1953, Britten-Norman was formed for the purpose of converting and operating agricultural aircraft, amongst other vehicles such as the cushioncraft hovercraft. In 1963, the firm initiated development work upon what would become the Islander, having sensed a demand for a simple and inexpensive twin-piston engine aircraft. The Beagle B206. Powered by two Rolls-Royce Continental 6-cylinder horizontally opposed engines giving it a maximum speed of 220 miles per hour and a range of 1,645 miles. Up to 8 persons could be carried. The short SC-7 Skyvan, nicknamed the Flying Shoebox, is a British 19-seat twin-turboprop aircraft manufactured by Short Brothers of Belfast. The Fairy Gannet, AEW-3. The Havilland DH-110, Sea Vixens. Westland Wessex HU-5 from the Royal Navy. Blackburn Buccaneers S2, powered by Rolls-Royce Spey turbofan engines. The Transall C-160, powered by a pair of Rolls-Royce Kind turboprop engines, which drives a pair of four-bladed Doughty Rotol propellers. Each engine is equipped with an auxiliary generator system, providing the aircraft with both electricity and hydraulic pressure. The Breguet BR-1150 Atlantic. Primary mission of the Atlantic is anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare. Its secondary roles include search and rescue.